us. You got all of it. No, you got all of it. You got all of it. Go ahead. Ooh, something comes over me. It's all these rules when you get close to me. It's like too much to describe, yet it's enough for 2 lives. And I can never stand I love it, but at least I'm gonna try 4 times.
Good afternoon, KSS. I'm your host, Garth Holiday.
And I'm Rip Wilson, and let me tell you, Garth, what a beautiful day it is to be in the studio reading the news.
Absolutely gorgeous. Boy, oh boy, Rip, we have some interesting things happening around Fergus Falls. It really is bustling.
Oh man, and I tell you what, I'm excited. We're going to talk a little bit about the Kirkbride building, its future, what possibly is going to happen to it. Who knows? We'll talk a little bit about some city planning, and maybe some pizza if you stick around.
Yummy, yummy. Let's go to our field correspondents with the stories.
Senior reporter Jack Nelson here with
Chris Schulke.
Good morning. I just want to ask you some questions on the RTC. First of all, do you want to share the historical background, like maybe just a basic summary of it, if you could?
Well, Jack, the state hospital was first, they started construction of it in 1888, and it opened in 1890, and it was Minnesota's 3rd state hospital for the insane. And the first part of it was actually what we called the West Detached, so it was the westernmost part of the building. And then there was constant construction that took place really over the next 20 years until you have the facility that you see today, that unique kind of horseshoe U-shaped linear plan. And it was, although it was, the architect was a man named Warren B. Donnell, it was based upon the design, the concepts of Thomas Kirkbride, who was a superintendent of the Pennsylvania State Hospital for the Insane. And he was very influential in the mid to late 19th century in trying to humanize the treatment of the mentally ill. Prior to that, they kind of kept them in prison-like settings, and treatment of people with mental illness was not very nice. And he really tried to humanize it. So he had facilities, design facilities across the country. So throughout the 20th century, the state hospital really was the economic mainstay for the city of Fergus Falls. You had hundreds of people employed up there, thousands of patients. You had a fully functioning farm, and with a dairy operation, a slaughterhouse, a 20-acre garden, an orchard. It was basically a self-sufficient community. But it was also a great benefit for the community because, again, it employed a lot of people, and they constantly were doing maintenance, so they needed supplies. So it was a great relationship between the city and the state hospital, and it really defined the community for over 100 years.
That's very cool. As you know, the city council has decided to go forth with the deconstruction of part of the building. Can I get your basic input if that's a good idea or whatnot?
Well, this is a really classic struggle between preservation of the facility, whether to keep it, whether it's people who think it's a benefit for the community, and those who think it's a burden, an albatross that should be torn down. So my feeling is that this facility can be of great economic benefit for the community of Fergus Falls. There is no other place like this in the United States. There are other Kirkbride designs around the country, but this is the most complete Kirkbride designed facility building left in the United States. So it's our most unique asset. Yeah. And I feel that given the opportunity with the full backing of the community and of the city, that incrementally we could develop this, and it could be, again, a great economic boon asset for the community.
Okay. Well, that's basically all I really had to ask you. Is there anything else you'd like to say in relation to it, maybe?
Well, to try to save this, my thought is that people need to contact their state representatives, because the city is going to be asking for $8.9 million in bonding money to complete phases 2 and 3, which is pretty much total demolition of the facility except for the center tower. So instead of demolition, we want to preserve.
Senior reporter Jack Nelson here with
Ben Shire, Mayor of Fergus Falls.
we're just going to basically touch base on the whole Kirkbride situation and some future planning and stuff. So what I basically want to talk about is what is the whole deal going on with the Kirkbride right now?
Sure. So right now the situation with the Kirkbride is the City Council has voted on a couple issues. One is Phase 1. They've authorized a phased deconstruction plan that has 4 phases. And so they've authorized Phase 1, which is the deconstruction of some of the non-historically contributing buildings and the tunnels, and that's been in a process that's been underway for about a year.
Okay.
And we have the funding available from the state to do that. And so that's that's non-controversial, I'd say. I think everyone, the majority of people could agree that that's something that needs to go forward. And then also the City Council voted to seek funding from the state legislature in the amount of $8.9 million for phases 2, 3, and 4. And that's where I think some people in the community have gotten involved and are opposed to that action. So that's where the controversy is.
Also, I've heard about some riverfront ideas going on. You want to touch base on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Give
we
us
have
some info on
we have this handy document right here, Jack. Funny you ask. This is the Downtown Riverfront Master Plan that we've spent 18 months working on, many community meetings, and City Council voted to approve that plan. And it's a planning document, so it's not set in stone, of course, anything in there. But in December, the City Council voted to approve that plan. And just this past Tuesday, so the 20th of February, the City Council voted to initiate a couple public improvement projects that would take us to the next phase as far as getting design proposals on the amphitheater and the river balcony. So that's exciting steps. So over the course of those 18 months, hundreds of people from the community were involved in some planning sessions and open houses and gave their feedback. And this document was a result of that. And now we're in the process of implementing that plan, which is, you need to identify funding sources and do the final design documents and stuff like that. But it's exciting time around the river and the downtown.
So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just like to give a shout out to Dove and Reno, my 7th and 8th grade sons. Hope you guys are doing good. Go Otters.
Senior reporter Zach Abramson here with
Anita Riley and
Maddie. So Anita, we heard that you had quite the experience the other day walking Maddie. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it was Sunday morning, and I took her out to do her morning business, and she has gotten into this habit of picking up a scent and wandering off into the backyard. So I followed her, and then I startled her. She found something that interested her. I startled her, and she started walking off onto the ice. And as I'm walking back towards the house, I heard a splash, and I knew she fell in.
Oh, no.
And, she's my baby now. So I panicked. And instead of going in the house and calling 911 like most normal people would, I decided to crawl out on my belly on the ice. And I had my leash, or her leash, and her paws turned towards me. She hit the ice, and it cracked. And next thing you know, I'm in the water, and she's still paddling away, but the current caught me and carried me about 30 feet away from her. I started screaming, and Lisa and Chris's dog was acting up. And so Lisa was trying to figure out what was getting the dog all worked up, because this is like 6 o'clock in the morning. She went out on their 3-season porch, and that's when she heard me yelling. Okay. So her and her husband, Chris, called 911, and she came out to try and keep me calm. But I was more worried for Maddie than I was for myself. The police department showed up in less than 10 minutes, and they got me over to the dock. They're pulling me up out of the water, and they walked me up to the ambulance, and got me warmed up, and next thing you know, I'm on my way to the hospital. And so I did have my polar plunge. It really wasn't on my bucket list,
No, I
but,
don't suppose it was.
I suppose if it was, I could cross it off.
So the police and the 911 call responded very quickly.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all. Lisa told me to just hold on for 10 minutes. I'll be here in 10 minutes. I go, I don't know if I can hold on that long. And right after she said it, it was like they were there.
So what was going through your mind when it initially happened, when you kind of realized, like, oh, we're both in the water?
All I could think about is I don't want to die and help the dog.
It's a miracle that both of you got out in the time that you did.
Every day I keep thanking God.
Maddie, what do you think about the whole situation? Well, thank you so much for your time.
I'm a little embarrassed, but
No,
you're welcome.
It is all right.
Casey Thome here, and we're going to be heading quickly down to the old Stop and Go building to check out the new car wash, and hopefully we'll have some fun on the way. Casey Thome here with
Lonnie Baldwig.
All right, and why did you want to build a car wash here in Fergus Falls?
Well, Casey, as all of us know, that whenever there's nice weather out, we're all stuck standing in line or sitting and driving and waiting in line to get a car wash. And to get a car wash, there's only two sides of town that we go to that are open. So here we're kind of in the middle of that, and we felt it was a great location.
And how does this differ from the other car washes in town?
The technology behind our car washes is top of the line. They are some of the most elite in-bay automatic car washes you can find. Well, we're open from 5 a.m. until midnight. We're going to be offering our third bay, which is an oversized bay, and that's for vehicles that are up to 9 feet tall. And that's going to be kind of a niche that we have for that bay. Along with, here in the next couple weeks, we'll have a self-serve bay open. And one of the unique things about the self-serve bay is it comes with what's called an air chamois. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a gun-looking type apparatus with a trigger on it that blows high volume air. So you don't have to necessarily towel dry your vehicle. You can blow your vehicle dry. Or if you drive a motorcycle, it works excellent for drying those.
Alright, we're going to be heading down to the Zip Trip building to check out the construction on the new Godfathers Express and see if they can tell us any info about it. Casey Thome here with
Mason Hastings.
What do you know about the Godfathers coming to town?
That it's like an express. You got to call in and pick it up. There's no drive-through, I don't think.
What do you think about Godfathers coming back to town?
I think it's good. The more pizza, the better, I guess.
What do you guys think about Godfathers coming back to town?
I like Godfathers, so I think it'll be all right. It's lit.
What do you guys know about Godfathers coming back?
It's over in the Cenex building, over by Burger King and Arby's.
Senior reporter Jacob Halverson here with
Morgan West.
Morgan. What do you think about the new Godfathers coming back?
It's coming back.
Casey Thome here with
Mr. Risbroot.
And what do you think about Godfathers coming back to town?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I'm glad that you'll be able to go out there and eat pizza there. I like it when it's delivered, though.
And how often will you usually go there?
Maybe once every 2 years.
Proud customer. We're back from Zip Trip, and they do not have any knowledge on the Express, so we're going to have to wait a month and get back.
Thank you, field correspondents. You really do make this studio work. You're the reason we do it. We love you, truly. Now that we've expanded our horizons on the town, let's take it back in, right to home.
Where
Kennedy,
it really matters.
Where it really matters. Kennedy Secondary School. Things are changing around here. We have some new student teachers this year. We'll talk to them in a little bit.
New faces, it's exciting.
It's exciting, Rip. There are some 544 teachers that have gotten some new grants for some gadgets and gizmos.
Kids, you know our kids, they love the gadgets and gizmos.
They do love the gadgets and gizmos. We'll talk to the Rainbow Club a little bit about who they are and how they work. And we have a first-hand account of a Super Bowl story.
The event that truly brings us together as a nation. Stick around.
Senior reporter Zach Abramson here with
Mr. McGowan.
Mr. McGowan, we heard a rumor that you actually went to the Super Bowl this year.
I did.
How was that?
It was incredible.
Incredible, huh?
Yep. I got tickets thinking that the Vikings might make it to the Super Bowl, and then was planning to sell my tickets, but then ended up not being able to sell them for a decent price, so decided I might as well just go to the game with my brother.
Might as well. So overall, how was the Super Bowl experience?
Super cool. There was a bunch of events going on around the cities with like things around Lake Calhoun and stuff like that, and then we went to the actual game, which was awesome. My brother and I got there really early and took some pictures and then found our seats, and it was just a lot of fun.
So you said you bought tickets hoping the Vikings would win, which they obviously didn't. Were you rooting for anyone in particular, or were you just enjoying the experience?
My hope was that both teams would lose, but apparently you can't do that in football. So I started rooting for the Eagles just because I wanted Carson Wentz to get a ring instead of the Patriots.
So the Super Bowl is a really big deal. I bet a lot of people here back home were pretty jealous.
Yeah, I told Mr. Peterson and Mr. Cumro that I was going to the game, and somehow word kind of spread around that I was going, and people, I don't know if they were excited or jealous or just didn't care, but yeah, it was kind of fun to come back and tell people about it.
That is cool. It is a really big deal. All right, well, that is exciting. Thank you, Mr. McGowan.
Thank you.
Senior reporter here, Callie Rasted with
Mona Davis,
Molly Stoddard. And we were just here wondering about you guys' all-terrain wheelchair that you guys have been using out here, and we wanted to know, like, who came up with the idea and everything.
I think it was a joint idea. We had quite a few students who had been in walking boots and had been on crutches and just weren't able to get around out here at the prairie. And so we were trying to come up with some ideas of how we can get them out on the prairie instead of having to keep them in the classroom, because that's what we do out here.
Nice. So I was wondering also if the kids have to sign up for it.
Well, when a student has some sort of injury that occurs, then the teachers learn about that, and we just talk about it and figure out how it's going to work out.
So where have you guys seen the wheelchair used before? In what kind of areas?
In the wintertime, we've had a sled out here that has been used for students who needed it. And we've used a wagon a few times, but that just gets to be kind of cumbersome. So just a little bit of brainstorming and research and came up with the wheelchair idea.
That's very cool. So thank you for your time and telling us all about the grant and the wheelchair.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Senior reporter Wyatt Melvestead here with
Lynette Rehnquist.
And we're here to ask you about these new noise-canceling headphones that were given to you by a foundation grant. So what purpose do these serve, really?
Well, my students wear them when they're reading AR or when they're taking a test to fully concentrate on the material that they're using and not be disrupted by any other sounds or noises.
Excellent. And what do the kids think of these so far?
They really love them. They all have their own little pocket to put them in, and they're all numbered, and they really enjoy wearing them.
Well, it sounds extremely helpful. So are these required for all kids, or is this more of an optional thing?
Well, it's really more of an optional thing, but actually my students love to wear them and come over every day and pretty much wear them on a daily basis.
Well, thank you for letting us ask you some questions and giving your time to us.
And thank you to the foundation for paying for these. We really appreciate it. It was a great grant opportunity, so thank you again.
Breaking news, there's been a development in the Super Bowl story, and we'll go live to the source right now.
Do you want to tell us what's going on, sir?
I didn't go to the Super Bowl. About 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, I told Craig Peterson that I had tickets to the Super Bowl, and for some reason he believed me. And then I didn't say anything other than that I was going to try and sell those tickets for more money. And then a couple days later, Scott Cumro came up to me and said, "Hey, I heard you have Super Bowl tickets," kind of not really believing it. And then I somehow convinced him too. And then a week before the Super Bowl, I went down to the cities and took pictures outside of the stadium with my brother, and then changed the date on those photos. So on Super Bowl day, I actually sent the photos to them saying, "Hey, I'm at the Super Bowl." And then they believed me because they still thought I was actually there. And then I photoshopped a different photo, making it look like I was in the stadium. And then sent that to them too, and then told all the students the truth. And so all the students in the band have been in on it for a while now, and Mr. Peterson and Mr. Cumro, you're the only ones that don't know, so sorry.
Well, there you have it, folks. The truth has once again found its way to the surface.
Senior reporter Paige Court here with
Beth Monkey.
So Beth, we're going to ask you some questions about the Rainbow Club, if that's okay.
That would be great.
So what is the Rainbow Club about?
The Rainbow Club was started back in 2009 when a student came to me who had gone to a different school, and at their school they had what's called a Gay Straight Alliance Club, and those groups are all over the country. They're clubs that are support groups for LGBT kids that are in school. And when he came to me wanting me to help him and to be an advisor, I was more than happy to step in. And he was really the one that got the group started and decided to call it the Rainbow Club. So it's been going on since about 2009. And that's basically what the purpose is just to provide support and also to educate the school, the community on LGBT issues.
Okay. What do you think the Rainbow Club means to the students?
It has provided a place for kids to know that they have a place to be, that people understand them and some of the hurdles that they have to go through. It's important to remember when we started Rainbow Club, gay marriage was illegal, and it has now been legalized. The rights for LGBT people have improved incredibly in the last 10 years. Prior to 2008 in the military, people couldn't be openly gay. I mean, things have changed a lot. So hopefully people are beginning to be more inclusive, and that's shown in our group. But we've done a lot with different topics. Sometimes kids will just do research on different topics having to do with LGBT, the community, or we'll watch movies, or sometimes we've done the homecoming parade, and we've done some letter writing in the past to legislators when there are issues that come up. So we've done a variety of things. I think it's helped students to feel included and supported within our school.
Okay. And one last question. What's like your hope for the Rainbow Club?
My hope is that it just keeps going and that it's always there as a support for students that would like that. I mean, honestly, I hope that someday we don't need a Rainbow Club and that kids that are part of the LGBT community feel like they don't need a support group, that they feel included no matter where they are. But for now, I think it's a helpful resource.
Okay, thank you. Senior reporter Paige Court here with
Clayton Lindberg.
So Clayton, you're a member of the Rainbow Club, right?
Yes, I'm the president.
Okay. What does the Rainbow Club mean to you?
Rainbow Club to me was a place that I could feel safe when I wasn't as confident in myself, and I guess it still just is a safe place.
What is your hope for the future of the Rainbow Club?
I just want everyone to know that, like, Rainbow Club will still be there, and it's a safe place for anyone who wants to come. Like, nobody's gonna judge or disrespect them there for who they are.
Okay. Thank you.
New reporter Adam Oliver here with
Miss Berg.
So, what's it like being in Kennedy Secondary?
I'm enjoying myself very much. It's interesting in a positive way. very different from our school system, and but I would say that students overall are pretty much the same. Doesn't matter if you're in Norway or if in Fergus Falls. It seems like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's all that new. Mm-hmm.
So what motivated you to come here and teach?
Many different things. First of all, I'm going to teach English in Norwegian schools once I'm done with my studying, and so coming here is a bit of it's more of a challenge for me, because I have to step up my language and I have to step up my teaching, because teaching here requires a little bit more than it would if I had been teaching Norwegian kids. I think that's number one. And number two, actually coming from a different culture and a different school system, and then going into a completely different school system, it makes me understand my own system better once I come back, because I see it from a different perspective. So I think that's interesting. And then it's also a little bit of vacation time away from everyday life in Norway. Yeah, I don't think I would have chosen to come to Fergus Falls out of all the places in the U.S. where I could go just for vacation, without knowing how, what to find here and so on. So, because in Norway we don't really maybe have so much advertisements or information about Minnesota, even though we have ties. If you have family or heritage or somebody, relatives living here, then you would probably know a lot about different places to go. But otherwise, people would probably go like, oh, we're going to go for vacation in the United States. Let's go to Las Vegas. Let's go to New York. Let's go to Los Angeles. Let's go to, or Aspen, Colorado, if they're really into winter sports, or, Mm-hmm.
Would you encourage others to do the same?
To do this kind of exchange that I'm doing? Definitely. I'm not the only one. It's just, so there's 3 of us here in Minnesota, and then there's 2 other students over at Luther College, Iowa, and we're placed in different schools. So I have 2 co-students. They're working over at Moorhead High School, and we're all doing we're blogging and we're writing about it, and we're trying to, encourage more of our other, next generation, next year teacher students to want to come for exchange. So we're the first people going, and so I'm spreading the word once I'm home, and I'm already doing it. So we have different social media accounts, and we're posting pictures and writing stories and giving them tips on where to go and how to, and what you should and should not do when you go through customs, stuff like that.
And would you mind telling me where you are from?
I'm from the north of Sweden. It's called Luleå. It's just south of the Arctic Circle. And then I've moved several times, and right now, since 13 years, I've been in the south of Norway in a town called Kristiansand. But my heritage is mixed, so I wouldn't be 100% Swedish, just as your heritage is mixed.
Senior reporter here with
Marshall Thompson.
All right. What inspired you to become a teacher?
That's a good question. It's a long story, but I'll cut it down real short. Actually, so I'm student teaching right now with Mr. Solon, and so actually kind of cool story is I had him in high school when I went to Underwood. He taught there, and loved his class. He was a great coach, a great teacher, and so as I went into college, I was going into engineering at the time, so calculus, chemistry, all that fun stuff. But then realized that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. and remembered that I loved history, I loved geography, and I loved, social studies. And then thinking back, I wanted to be, I guess, in one sense, kind of like someone like Mr. Solon. And so this opportunity that I have to student teach with him is awesome. Kind of like a dream come true in one sense, like getting to be and work with like the person who inspired me is a really unique opportunity. So Mr. Solon definitely had a big impact on that. And I'm not just sucking up, but that's kind of what happened. So.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing to like teach here?
Ooh, that's a good question. So right now I'm teaching cultural geography with 9th graders and economics with seniors. And I thought I would hate teaching econ because econ isn't the most interesting topic. But actually, I found some things that I really, really like about it. But if I could choose any subject, I would teach, if I could have just like a World War I and II class, I would teach that like all day, every day. It'd be awesome.
What college are you attending?
Right now I'm attending MSUM up in Moorhead. So I did a couple years in town here at the community college at M-State, but then transferred up there. So.
Okay. So what's your favorite subject that you would like to teach?
Oh yeah, and so I guess this kind of goes back to like world wars. I'm a huge war buff, so anything I can get and read, or anyone I can talk to about conflict and people killing each other, which sounds really morbid, but it's interesting to me, and so yeah, that's definitely on top of my list.
All right, so last question. Most importantly, what is your favorite color?
This is honestly like the toughest question on there that you have. I don't know, and I think it kind of changes, but I'll just be like really boring and I'll just say blue, because blue's a good color.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, aren't those some exciting stories,
They
Rip?
sure are, Garth.
Well, that's about all we have time for, folks. Now, before we sign off, we'll give you a real treat. We'll let you see some projects the students here at KSS Video Productions have been working on this semester. I've been Garth Holliday.
And I am Rip Wilson.
This is Otter Update, signing off.
Alright folks, we save any room for some dessert today? No, we're full, and she clearly doesn't need any more food. And also make sure those checks are separate.
I don't have any money.
Well, I can't pay for your dinner. Do you know how much it costs to maintain that sick ride out there?
Fine, I'll put it on my emergency credit card. Thanks for the ride, Chad.
God, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Not you, my car. Can you get out? I got places to be.
Oh, bye?
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room.
My dog!
My truck!
You ran over my dog!
Your dog ran into my truck. You're paying for this. That was rough. Sorry your dog ran into my truck and died.
Oh, that's okay. He was already like almost 3.
It was probably for the best then.
Yeah.
So like, when am I gonna get that money back for my truck?
So when am I gonna get my dog back?
When are you gonna get your dog back, Brittany? Your dog's dead.
We'll stand for
What? So? Look, I don't care about safety issues here. We're pushing the realms of science. Look, whether you like it or not, I'm gonna be doing this experiment. We're done talking.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Bill.
Okay, later, Nike.
Who are you? Do you want a jacket or something? All right, well, come with me. Come to my house, it's warm. So I never got your name. 12? The number? I don't know, I'm just kind of worried about my friend. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Who, Bill?
You know about Bill? Do you know where he is? Did someone kidnap him? Do you know who would have taken him? What does that even mean? What the heck? Whoa! You can shoot bananas? But where's Bill?
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love